Hi, I'm Mark Wybrow and this is the Electronic Cafe, the channel for the lovers of electronic music.
And I'm Andy McNabb, so let's get started. So welcome to the latest episode of Electronic Cafe, and this is one of our Rising Stars episodes. Mark and I thought it'd be a good idea at the back end of last year to say every now and then we'll bring a program that just looks at bands or artists that we think should be getting more exposure, should be playing bigger venues. And the band we're bringing to today is certainly no exception to that rule. Mark and I managed to get some time with Conrad and Stephanie from the fantastic Beautiful Machines. We saw them at the tail end of last year when they were supporting Wolfgang Fleur, and it was a real sort of eureka moment. Mark and I looked at each other and thought, God, these guys are really good. So I just walked up to Conrad while they were taking the stuff off the stage, and thankfully he agreed that they could come onto the show. So Mark and I spent an afternoon chatting to both, Conrad and Stephanie. Really smart, really lovely people, and incredible band. And if you haven't checked out the latest single, Control, please do so. But we just want you to sit back and enjoy our chat that we had with the fantastic Beautiful Machines, and to get to know them and their music. So enjoy.
I've had some really nice stories which I'll share. Like, I've been playing your single. I'll get to it in a proper interview, but I've got two young daughters and their friends come around, and I was playing your stuff quite loud, and they've all come in and gone, "What the fuck's that?"
like turn it off because that's driving me nuts, or
yeah. Hello, everyone. We are joined by a band today, just so you all know, that Mark and I saw at the Lexington last year. They were so good that I actually said to Mark, I've got to approach these guys. We've got to get them on. And thankfully, Conrad and Steph said, yeah, we're all good for it. When it's coming Electronic Cafe. And the band is called the Beautiful Machines. So we're delighted to have you guys on the show. Welcome to Electronic Cafe, both of you. It's great to have you on.
Thank you so much, Mark and Andy.
Cheers, guys. It wasn't exactly true. I was nudging Andy and I was saying, God, I'm going to You was trying to pack up all your equipment, and Andy was like hovering around.
I know. I was trying to pick my moment, Conrad, but I appreciate you turning around chatting to me. It was really good to meet you both that night. But I mean, just after that show, I came back and I bought Bridges, the album you did in 2016. And I was blown away by that, as I was the live set. But then, your new single, I think it came out in December, back end of last year.
December 1st, yep.
Yeah. I mean, whole new level for me. And I've been playing it to death. And just so you know, I mean, I've got two younger daughters that are 18 and 20, and their friends come around, and I play a lot of music in this little man cave of mine. And I've had a couple of knocks on my door going, what's that? And I've shown them your video, and they've just all love what you do. So I'm slowly bringing a whole new army of fans for you guys. So it's great work. You must be so pleased with that single.
Yeah, it sounds great. It was first time working with a producer, and so then the kind of vibe on it was different. We went for kind of a more dark vibe. I think that also the kind of energy for the rest of the album is going to be completely different from what we've done before. Kind of like hopefully stepping it up, production chops, creating some more cinematic space. But yeah, this one was really cool because, we get to work with Aid Fenton, if you know who he is, producer. Yeah. Numanoids. I heard this word for thrown around in the last few months, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Funny word.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's supposedly like the grandfather of new electronic music in some kind of ways. I mean, not. I think like Tangerine Dream or some other bands like this might own that space a little bit more, but
he's certainly in the higher echelons of electronic greatness. So that's amazing. How did you meet him, Conrad? How did you get in touch with Aid? Or how did he get in touch with you? How did that work?
So let's see, I was at the pub. I was on the floor face down in the pool. He picks me up and says, "What are you doing?" No, that never happened. Well,
He picked you up and said, "You must be a musician."
Let's work together.
So we with our management, we sent some demos around and said, who do you think's like a good producer for this? And he made some recommendations. We met up with Aid on a call and liked his energy, liked the vibe, liked his bangs. And so then we kicked it off.
Amazing. And when's the album, like, you know, much anticipated album? When can we expect to get our mitts on it?
So what we're aiming for now, things could shift around COVID and all that kind of stuff. And also with vinyls, it's gonna be different, but we want to aim for 6/6. And the reason being because, you know, it's 2022. We thought, you know, a testament to the omen, 666. So numerology built into it. And also it's just easy to remember, you know.
And did you say the magic V word is coming out on vinyl?
Hell yeah, we got to make this thing out in vinyl. It's probably going to come out later because there's a back stock of production. Takes a long time.
No, well, that was one of our questions. We was going to say, is it coming out on vinyl? But
we are vinyl junkies, as you can see.
Yeah. I really want this to be on vinyl. So hopefully there's a demand for it, and if people like this, then we'll vinylize it.
Well, you've got 2 orders right here. Trust me. So let us know when it's coming out. It'd be amazing. Yeah, if it does make the date, brilliant. But as Mark says, we're seeing lots of stuff coming out late because of the vinyl problem. But that's brilliant news. Really good news.
So is it going to be a couple of singles before the 6/6 album release? Isn't it? Was you going to release 3 singles before that date? Is that the plan?
Steph, you want to tell them about it?
Yeah, we're going to probably stick with the numerology and just go with 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, and leading up to the big 6/6.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Steph, your look on stage, it's really cool. I mean, some of my friends that might say, my daughter's friends who saw the video, she looks so cool. What inspired that look? Because I love it.
Well, the story is just really, I have a nickname. It's Machine Meow, because when I'm really intensely focused, I don't really talk. So I just occasionally like make a meow sound to acknowledge, yes, I heard you. I'm going to do this now. So we thought, hey, why don't we just find her a mask and make her into a machine meow on stage? And we also wanted to kind of do something to let the music shine through.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's what we decided to go with.
And it looks cool. It's like, I was like, you can reflect lights off of her head and then it just shoots around the room.
It's amazing. And you know, the whole look on the video, and that's something else that my daughter's friends are going, they look really cool. So you guys got a good image. It's really cool. But yeah, Steph, I love your look. It's absolutely brilliant. And the origin story of your music career, how did you guys meet and form Beautiful Machines? What's the backstory?
Okay, so we met through the magic of the interwebs. There's a site called Craigslist, which maybe is not so popular in UK, but like I think it's quite big. And so we did one of those ads, you know, couples seeking couples kind of thing. No, I'm kidding. No, we did. We actually started and still are bandmates, and so we had a larger band at the time with like bass and drums, and then decided like let's make this a little bit more electronic at the time. So this is actually back in 2011-ish time that we kind of started kicking things off. Yeah.
Nice.
You've got a great sound live, and I'm guessing from Control that the first single that the album's going to sound along the same vein, where it's very electronic, but there's glam in there, and I mean, I know it's difficult when people compare.
Ah,
Me and Andy was in bands, and people say, "What do you sound like?" And you try and describe what you sound. But I mean, I could hear Goldfrapp in what you were doing, and Andy's daughters have said, there's some elements of Muse in there. Great bands with a great production and great sounds, and I can hear all of those reference points for sure.
Yeah, I think there's definitely. I've always loved Goldfrapp. I think if you put any song to that triplet feel, that then there's going to be it's Goldfrapp. She's claimed that space, which is actually, if you think about it, it comes from the glam kind of era. Like
massively.
So I like glam a lot.
That's
actually.
what they say at the mastering studio.
Actually, fun story is as our they did say that. Yeah, it's Metropolis mastering. They said he basically said, there's a Goldfrapp energy in this one.
Oh.
We should ask Alison about that.
I hear, but as Mark, I also hear touches of Muse because it's quite a big sound, but also your voice has got touches of Bono in it, but in a good way. You've got a good voice, man. It's strong. That's where, again, when we saw you at the Lexington, I was like, all sounding good, all looking good. So, I think it's brilliant. And the process for your music, I'm guessing it varies track by track. Is there a sort of general process you guys have? I mean, do you write the words first, or do you just play around with some synths? I mean, what's the kind of general process for the album you're working on now with Aid?
So you want to go with that?
It's kind of all over the place, but okay. So a lot of times Conrad disappears in the night and then emerges the next day. There's really pretty good sketched out, hashed out verses and choruses. And then we start playing it. And then I might add some parts like a bridge or something together while we're playing. And I think lyrically, Conrad has all these fragments of poetry floating around in his head for all his life. And that they all kind of reflect on the bigger idea of singularity. So that's where that comes from. And we play together. We have hours and hours of recording, of rehearsals, where
years,
just kind of like this library on a hard drive somewhere where we can go and mine for ideas in case we need new ideas. But yeah, we used to just rehearse for 8 hours and make all this new material. So
nice.
Yeah. And also there's, when it comes to lyrically, there was this is just real quick, there was back in college days and stuff, there was this English professor. It wasn't Sting. No, there was this English professor who was basically talking about how to put, how you unpack the words. This kind of one word has just it's like a zip file, if you will. Yeah. And so when I think about it that way, when I'm writing, I'm thinking of all the connotations, the denotations, how this means that, how it's connected to future, past. What does it mean for you? Because also, if you're singing something, it has to kind of resonate with some kind of truth in you to some extent. And it's weird because we're talking about electronic music, which most of the time doesn't have much vocals. So hopefully we're trying to go into some new territory a little bit and put some synthesization. That's a new word.
That is a new word. You should paint that.
Yeah.
Do you write on? I can see the synthesizer behind you, but do you write on software synths predominantly into a Logic or something, or do you have a stash of synths stashed away in your house somewhere?
Well, we love analog gear, and we're waiting to acquire a new piece right now. This one's kind of virtual analog. Roland has basically gone complete virtual analog with all their stuff, except for if you find an old Jupiter somewhere, which would be awesome.
Well, I mean, I had the analog synths that I sold back in the day were the biggest mistake I'd ever made.
At the time you think these things are...
Which one was it?
Yeah,
I had an SH-101 to start with, the Roland SH-101, which was great for bass lines. And I've just bought the Behringer copy of it. Just because 20 years later, it still breaks my heart. But I had the SH-101 and I had a Juno 60. And when digital synths come out, you literally couldn't give away all your analog synths. So I traded them in for a Yamaha, a DX7, a Yamaha SY55, which DX7 is just probably one of my worst synthesizers ever. And then now when you go back and think, I'd like to rebuy a Juno 6 or a Poly 6 or a Jupiter 8, it's just There was a Jupiter 8 I saw advertised the other day, $32,000.
What?
The same one. They're like rolls because they don't make them anymore and they're not making
Yeah, the
analog.
Jupiter's a classic.
And
Yeah.
I would love, that would probably be my, you were talking about desert island stuff earlier, but that would be a desert island synth because you get so many things out of it.
Like you could never have the will until the morning when you're happy. You break from finding out what's real.
That's actually one to work on getting.
When I was a kid and I was getting into bands and everything, there used to be a music shop close to where we live, and I used to go there every Saturday, go in there and play all the synths. And the Juno 60 was the synth that, if I ever could afford the synth, I'd buy a Juno 60. And I bought a Juno 60. Synths evolved, pretty much gave it away, traded it for next to nothing. And then now you look back at the prices of them and you just think, oh my God.
You know what?
You're still feeling your hurt, Mark.
I
You put this on your Christmas list, so that's good.
He looked at me when he said that, Mark.
I'll stick it on your Christmas list, Conrad, because your album does really well. If your album does really well.
The cool thing with virtual or soft synths is some of them sound amazingly good, and you can go in there and tweak to your heart's content. You can change things around if you don't like it. Where at the same time, analog synths sound awesome and warm and creamy if they're recorded. But there's this thing about analog versus digital, which we totally don't need to ever go into or touch, because everything comes out through a digital in the end, and you're recording on a DAW, which is digital. And then, but of course, it's about what you're capturing at the beginning. So the beginning capturing and running it through the analog gear.
Yeah, it
So-
also makes you feel good. So while you're playing,
It makes you
Yeah.
there's some qualities that you can't just analyze on a spectroscope and say, look at these things are here, because there's a feeling to it. And that's the one thing I think with great electronic music is that if you hear, like, there's music, it just kind of pulsates and waves, and there's feelings in the electronic. It's not some kind of sterilized sound. But going back to the analog stuff, like with the stuff we're working on for this upcoming album, we did go into the studio with like proper studio with a bunch of hardware gear earlier a couple of years ago to work on some of the songs. So some of the songs have been captured through that way. We have some analog kind of inputs here as well. And
80s analog stuff on his end.
I think he used a microbrute on that one for.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen pictures of what he's got. I mean, obviously what he does with Newman and the production, the fairy dust that he puts on Newman stuff. I mean, it's very special. So I'm looking forward to what he's done with your music. It's going to sound phenomenal, I think.
In terms of that music, buddy, I mean, inspirations. Who made you sit up and listen growing up as a kid in terms of this is what I want to do, or this is really connecting with me? Because I always have, and Mark will tell you, Mark and I always have a bet of who the inspiration is, and we've never got it right. We're so off center. It's something completely different to maybe the music you're making. So I'm not going to say anything, but I've got an idea, but I bet I'm completely wrong.
Who is your inspirations?
For music, I like Simon Posford. He's a UK-based kind of like psytrance producer, and his stuff is like super intricate and cool. I like Infected Mushroom, which is like this other psytrance thing that is pretty cinematic and intricate. I like the classical stuff. A lot of my ideas come from classical music, like
Nice.
It was from know what it is.
Yeah.
It's from Bill and Ted when they basically brought
Beethoven.
they brought him back. Yeah, Beef Oven they called him, and he's playing like at the same time in the mall. That kind of thing.
See, I got that completely wrong. Amazing.
Yeah, I've never guessed those. Conrad, who was you listening to when you was growing up and making you wanting to make music?
Thing is, I would listen to, well, shoot, there's so many things, guys. If I had to summarize, okay, the first thing when I was really little, and this was already out for years and years by this time, but then I heard it because my uncles had it at their house, and they had a vinyl, and it was Michael Jackson Thriller, and all the songs in the album. They got Van Halen on the album. Like, damn, it's just like poppy. When you're like 4 years old, it's like, this is awesome. I don't know. You want to sing like him and do moonwalks and stuff. But that's really not, I don't want to say like that's where the inspiration for current music is coming from. Of course, there is going to be Depeche Mode is going to be in there.
Yeah.
certainly. We've been, and she was mentioning Infected Mushroom because the kind of detail of finesse of like electronics that they got going on there is just awesome.
Your first vinyl was Tangerine Dream.
Yeah, even when I was little, the first was Tangerine Dream.
Wow.
It was like Exit. Exit. I think it's
Yeah,
called.
cooler than most people's first albums.
Yeah, there was another one that was on a clear vinyl at the time, and I
Right.
tried to track it down. It was called might have been called Synergy or something. Do you guys know what this is? I don't remember what it sounds like, but I remember having it in the house going, "This is so futuristic and cool," when I was like 7 years old. And
That's so cool. Yeah, my first album was Relics, Pink Floyd. That was my first album.
Yeah, that's
Pink
our
Floyd's huge
favorite too.
influence too, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm a lot older than you guys, so that's the only reason.
I remember my first single was I can't remember the first album, might have been the Specials.
Oh yeah,
But my first single I bought was Mr. Blue Sky by ELO,
Cool.
which
That's cooler than mine.
I mean, even now though, it's a bit of a guilty pleasure, ELO. I mean, they've got some great pop songs, haven't they? But,
dude, they're really
So
cool.
timeless.
Yeah, they were just in Gardens of the Galaxy, right?
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
And that was like a total reinvigoration of that one. To go along with that song is like Queen's "Don't Stop Me Now." I don't know.
Yeah.
Those two songs kind of like just connect together. That's
Yeah. Sounds like a good soundtrack we're putting together here.
Yeah, they're like from space.
So you work with Aid. Is there anyone on your list that you'd like to work with? I mean,
yeah.
With.
Yeah, sure. There's like producer wise or like musicians.
just anyone. I mean, just like as a musician, I guess someone like Alan Wilder. I think if you're a big fan of Depeche Mode, I mean that audio palette.
Oh yeah, God, I know. Yeah, yeah, totally. It's great.
That form an orderly queue with Alan Wilder.
Yeah. That'll be on there. I'll put that one there. What about
What's Nine Inch Nails synth player's name?
Oh,
Alessandro Cortini.
yeah, basically, yeah, but I love, yeah. You're
Yeah.
a big Paul Snell's fan as well.
Yeah.
What about new artists? I mean, I know you're obviously in the studio working on your own stuff, but is there any new bands that have come out over the last couple of years you've gone, hey, love what they're doing, or you recommend?
Oh, absolutely. There's just one that's like super on our field right now. They're on kind of everybody's field, and they kind of like they sound amazing, I think, and they have vocals and they have electronics and they have synth keyboards, and they're huge now. They became huge like 1 year, it feels like. But Rufus Du Sol,
Yep.
they're pretty epic. I like that epic sound, M83 would be another one that I'd like to collab on with something. He's not sure what he's doing now, but there was a certain era there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
That's great.
Your music's quite epic as well, isn't it?
Oh God, yeah.
Because I mean, we've seen, like you have, we've seen there's support bands and there's support bands. I mean, we saw you supporting Wolfgang at the Lexington, and you see support band, and invariably you listen to it and you don't really take too much in. And back in the day, we've seen Blamont supporting, I've seen Talk supporting, so you do get certain support bands. Literally half a song into your stuff, me and Andy was standing at the back and we was kind of looking at each other, sort of like nudging each other, thinking, this sounds like really good. I mean, the sound you had was quite anthemic. It was kind of, the look was good. The lighting was good. The sound that you guys have got is a great sound, and I can't wait for more people to hear it.
Wow. Thank you so much, guys. I mean, we never know what the feedback is if nobody's listening or people liking it, or this is great.
Well,
That's why I was nudging Andy, saying, go on, Andy.
he's such a liar. He's trying to hold me back, Conrad. That was the thing.
I had to look after, we had a good sofa seat at the back, and I had to look after the sofa seat, so only one of us go, so Andy got the short straw there.
That was a really great show. That was a great night.
How did you get the support slot with Wolfgang?
Magic. I don't know. Kind of happened. I think it was
It was a promoter company.
yeah. There's the promoter who runs that night was talking.
Mute Elephant.
Yeah, Mute Elephant, and they were talking with our booking agent / management team, and they made something happen last minute because we wanted to do something before around the release, and also we just need to get out there and play. We want to play a lot more.
Yeah, we wanted to play sooner rather than later in case there's some kind of a lockdown, and that was a good idea.
Yeah.
Did you speak to Wolfgang?
Yeah, for a little bit. We have actually a couple posters somewhere around here that we grabbed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we congratulated him on his new song, the one that where you just say no. If you don't want
that was fun. That one actually stood out one of the most.
I love
actually.
that.
Yeah. I mean, we've got a copy of the album, and the reason I ask is that we're speaking to Wolfgang next week. We're speaking to him, and we know Peter Dugal, who he was also supporting that night, who's Wolfgang's musical partner. So we're chuffed that we've got an interview with Wolfgang next week, and we've got a copy of the album. We love that album. Birmingham's a great track. You know, it's such a great album, and everyone says that Wolfgang's a really lovely guy. We know Rusty Egan, we know Tiny Magnetic Pets, who also know Wolfgang. So there's a lot of mutuality there, and I just wanted you to give us some tips on speaking to Wolfgang.
Is that the start? Yeah, because it's like we got an interview with God.
He is kind of a god because he started the whole movement.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of strange. You hear like these big pop anthem songs, which borrows from the era, basically from Kraftwerk. From those melodies, they influenced like Depeche Mode, everybody.
Even like visually, Blue Man Group.
Blue Man totally. And they
of course.
all electronic music, pretty much. I mean, it's kind of insane. I don't even know how we're sharing a room with them and why it's not on a Wembley. Speaking of, like these guys are.
Yeah, exactly. No, they are. I mean, I'm sure you've seen a documentary. You've got these young black kids in New York spinning on their heads. This to Change Europe Express, created by 4 white guys that look like should be accountants. You know, that's massive influence. It's just incredible. Absolutely.
Have you read his like controversial autobiography?
I was a robot.
Yeah, Mark was telling me about. I didn't realise it until one or 2 guys tried to sue him for making the book or something. Mark, I know you know more about it than I do.
Yeah, I think when he left Kraftwerk and he released the book, I think he had a few legal issues about releasing the book, or I had to make some changes or something. I don't know, but I think there was a bit of bad blood when he first left Kraftwerk. But you know, we're absolutely chuffed to speak to him because at the end of the day, he's got a fantastic new album out, which is immensely brilliant. But you're speaking to someone that was actually in Kraftwerk. You know, someone that was actually in Clean Clang Studios when all of those albums were being made, and you just think, like, you know,
I know,
it's phenomenal.
He's pinching himself.
I'm
just making myself more and more nervous.
I know, yeah.
Mind blown.
You know, I saw you guys doing I guess it was recent, maybe the last podcast you guys did happened to be on one of our favorites, obviously.
The
Pesh. Gosh, you guys are thorough. I mean, I'm just saying, like, you details that I've never heard before, and I thought I've heard all these things, but that you guys lived nearby growing up and this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Yeah, honestly, Craig, we used to see him in tiny little bars. They were like our local band, and you know, we'd see him playing these tiny little places. And even then, though, you knew they had something special. You kind of thought these guys have just got such a great sound. Obviously, it was mostly driven by Vince at the time. And yeah, they just saw them, and then they started. Then they just went from these tiny little bars to these, like the Lyceum Theatre in London, and that was Vince's last gig with them. And I said to Mark, everyone knew it was his last gig with them, but no one thought it was the end of Depeche. You know, no one was. Everyone kind of just went okay, and Blancmange was supporting, and yeah, it was a really good time. And Mark used to see the guys on a train. I mean, Fletch at one point asked my then girlfriend out. She's stupid. He said, "No, I'm with him." That's how close we were in terms of we just used to hang around and see them because they were our local band, you know. So it was a great time, and I look back with fond memories. And I also love the fact that Mark and I have probably gone to every tour since, right through for the last 40 years. Oh my God.
We actually saw them in Rome at, I think it was for Spirit. Was it?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nice.
it was a
Yeah,
revolutionary song they had going on at the time.
They're
Yeah,
good.
we saw that at the Olympic Stadium, like at Stratford. So
Yeah, they're a good live band, aren't they? They know how to put on a show.
Yeah, they're okay. No, I'm just kidding. No, I mean, come on, they're amazing. I mean, they're such a huge influence, to be honest. Like Sonic, there's not that many. Well, now there's a EDM world, but that's totally different. Electronic bands, like it's quite rare still, I think. I mean, this is like the British invasion times 3 has been happening just constantly.
Yeah, we're pretty good at music, I think. I mean, I know it's hard, but again, just to give people, and I know you talked about some of your influences, but have you got a desert island disc? Is there one that, I know it's hard because you guys always got a great taste and eclectic taste, but if you could take one album with you anywhere, what album would it be for you guys?
One album.
Yeah, Desert Island Disc, comrade.
Right. Okay, here we go.
And it'll probably change tomorrow, but
I thought we get like 8.
8
We get one.
Oh, it's not a mixtape. Okay, now.
Oh,
I'll give you 3 each. There, 3 essential albums for Beautiful Machines. 3 each.
I'd hate to do this because what I'd say today would be totally different tomorrow.
Yeah.
Plus, after you've heard it 3 or 4, 20 times, you're gonna be like, "Oh God, please don't play it anymore." Even if it's the best thing in the world.
Okay, so what album do you keep going back to then?
Yeah. Is there one?
All right. Yeah. Okay. So, like, this is gonna sound completely weird and completely doesn't make sense to the music we listen to at all. So just don't be freaked out or anything.
That's right.
All right. So I might put some like Ladysmith Black Mombasa. Now, the reason is because like while you listen to like the kind of music that you listen to, I like to put different things in there to kind of make you think about it differently. And it's not like, listen to this music and then make this music. It's more like listen to all this weird things, jungle sounds and everything, completely analog world. And also the harmonies. I just love like the kind of in the rhythms. So sometimes I'll hear these rhythms in the new album. We play with time and we play with some off stuff. So I like to have this kind of feeling of something different, something unexpected. Speaking of that's like the motto of our whole like album. We want to do like a lot of unexpected moments.
Yeah, cool. What about you, Steph?
I would take so I get 3.
Yeah,
if I get 3, I would take Spangle, Simon Posford, Ineffable Mysteries from Spangle Land. I would take a classical one with me just in case I'm stuck on the island forever and I need to learn something and play something. So something difficult like the Rachmaninoff No. 3 Piano Concerto or something. And the third one would be difficult. I think it has to be something either by Pink Floyd or Queen, just like, just like a classic that always rejuvenates and inspires.
Yeah, something you can look up to
like
the stars at night when you're sitting there and
yeah. Great.
Yeah, maybe like the Pompeii show or something.
So Steph, are you classically trained or something? Because a lot of your musical choices or musical influences are very in the classical field, or
yeah, I mean, my parents had this like tape set of like 12 classical composers and they just played it when I was a baby, looping in the background. So then I had these melodies swimming around in my head, and when I played piano, that was what I started with. There's like an intricacy in classical music, it's basic yet intricate.
No. She tends to like the very complicated Russian ones, like Rachmaninoff and like Prokofiev, and those ones I really like too. Man, it's just actually that's the music that I feel like honestly like the most. It's gonna sound weird, but like man, the intricacies is insane. If you listen to it on an awesome system, blows you away. And I'm like, wow, they wrote these. Some of the older ones, like Mozart, obviously 400 or 500 years ago, whatever it is.
It also continues with like in film music, they all pretty much come from like Prokofiev or some other people.
Just the melodic, like, how did you go from this to where does it even come from? Some of it's so complex. I'm like, wow. And you can keep going back and listening and finding new things.
Yeah.
It's like this tragic beauty to, some of the Russian classical composers that I just really
Of course,
like.
there's a tragic beauty.
Yeah.
The Russian.
Yeah, it's like tragic beauty and revolution, which is what I like.
Yeah.
They're big soundscapes, like what you try and create through synths and stuff. They are the class. Some of the classic stuff is massively like big soundscaping. So I totally get it. And you guys talked about touring earlier, and obviously things are relaxing now. So does that mean there's a new tour dates and we can see you guys live? Because Mia might want to see you live again. So what are the plans for that?
So we have some dates we're working on. Nothing is 100% firm yet. That's around maybe April, hopefully.
Yeah, there's one in Leeds.
Yeah, Leeds.
And then maybe another one in London.
London, yeah. Leeds, London, and hopefully we'll put some like a proper tour together. And then we were aiming for a summer tour. So we'll see how it all works out. UK, Europe.
Nice. Oh, that's amazing. Well, keep us posted. So we'll tell everyone on our channel when you're playing. So, and me and Mark will definitely be there cheering you guys on. So can't wait to see you live. That'd be great. That'd be really, really cool. And also, as Mark said, you answered one of our questions there that you're bringing out the album on vinyl. I'm so delighted because we meet so many good bands that just don't bring stuff out on vinyl. And it's such a shame. And I think your music totally deserves that. So can't wait for that as well. Can't wait.
What color should we make it?
Oh, there's a question.
Are you guys purists? It has to be black vinyl or
metallic looking for you guys to match Steph's helmet.
Holographic would be really cool. Is
Yeah.
there a holographic? It would be cool. You can
Maybe.
shine light through the bottom while it's spinning. It plays like some kind of.
Well, there's a Jack White album, which I'll send you the details of it later. I've got it somewhere where it plays from the inside out.
Oh, that's what Newman does.
First of all, when you put the needle on, it's got two parallel tracks. So the running order goes in a different order depending which one you drop it into. There's a hologram inside that when it spins, it's got like an angel spinning around. There's all different things that are factored into this one album, which I guess he's got his own pressing plant thing, Jack White, and I think expense doesn't really come into it, but it must be quite expensive. But it's some of the things he's got are quite unique. I'll send you the details later of what the album is, but I'll send you a YouTube clip because it shows you what they all are. But
That's such a man. Damn it!
I like it.
It's a great idea.
Mark, you've got the New Men album. So New Men's an album. Actually, Wolfgang's on that, ironically. But when I first got it, the needle kept falling off the side. I'm like, what the beat is going on? It's going to ruin my stylus. You have to play it from the inside out. So you put it right on the inside and it plays outwards. Because I didn't have my glasses on. Someone said, just read the label. So I'm sorry.
Speaking of vinyl, do you guys, now this is sound weird, do you guys go tapes at all?
So I used to be. So I'm a typical, vinyl to cassettes to CDs. I've got a cupboard creaking with thousands of CDs back to vinyl. So
Vinyl's the main because of the fidelity and that. Yes.
is that a format that you're going to? Are you going vinyl cassette, or is this all pie in the sky? Something you're thinking about? I don't buy cassettes. Andy used to because he used to have a car full of them. And chew them all up, and the usual problems with a pencil and a cassette. But
some reason I was reading that cassettes are making a bit of a comeback for a few years. With
say that it's funny because when you go on Bandcamp, it says, "Oh, blah blah blah, download vinyl cassettes," and 9 times out of 10, you're right, the cassettes are sold out. I'm like, who's buying cassettes? But someone.
Yeah.
There's probably like a limited run, and everyone just snatch them up if they have a cassette player.
Yeah.
We got to move into the future now. So we're going to like NFT world and all this kind of stuff you guys are probably familiar with. Maybe going to be on the fringe. So we'll be going into some kind of sandbox concerts if you guys are familiar with all that stuff.
I reckon you should go 8-track and then 8-track, mini disc.
I like mini disc.
Mini disc. And what else can you have?
No, I think the best is if you get the cylinder, the actual kind of really old
Player piano roll, yeah.
piano roll.
Player piano roll.
Well, actually,
Punch tape.
there's supposedly like back from Mesopotamian era. There's like these basically jars that if you put, they've kind of carved into it, so you can put a jar on there, like.
Yeah, I've seen them. Yeah.
They might arrive before the vinyl. You never know.
What is the deal with this vinyl taking so long? It's like
With you guys, 6 to 6, brilliant. And let's say when keep us posted on those guys, so we can tell our guys when to, or any pre-order information you can give us, so we can get people to start ordering up front. Yeah, all over that. But yeah,
when's the best place to get it from? Are you on Bandcamp, or is it from your own website, or what's
we're also on Bandcamp, but I guess the site feels like a good central hub for everything. So you can always find Bandcamp and everything on there. But we need to be more active on Bandcamp. I think that's actually way more involved. Like
our site will link to the best place to buy.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. And also probably from Spotify when the vinyl does come out, it will be on there too.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah. And the next single is out when?
We're doing
3-3.
Yeah.
3-3.
4, 5, 6, 6.
4, 6, 6.
Goes all the way up to 12-12, by the way. There's other things too. There's
excellent stuff.
Videos and all this kind of stuff, and Easter eggs are going to be abounding in this one. So,
So one final question.
Yep.
Why the big gap between what your previous albums to now? You took time to go away, rethink it, and come back. Is that the thinking?
Yeah. Well, there was kind of a reinvention feeling, like, and we're also, because COVID happened, that kind of slowed the pace down as well.
Yeah, sure.
Because we were kind of aiming for like 2020-ish of doing some releases and then coming out, but then all of a sudden this wave hit. So,
and we also went through a whole period of just being quite nomadic in the world.
Yeah.
So we basically went to play some festivals in the US in 2016 and then 17, and then we came back from South by Southwest and we left the US and haven't gone back that often. So that's what happened.
Yeah, just been all around the world, nomadic people going to Asia and South America and wherever.
South by Southwest is mental. I've been about 3 times. I love it. It's
even naked people in the street.
You know what?
Yeah, there's usually like some kind of naked guy will come.
That was me. Yes,
Yeah.
Brilliant. That's great. But I'm really looking forward to the album. Definitely come and buy you a beer when you play live. So let us know and keep in touch with us so we can tell our fans and stuff what you're up to, because I think you would, if we can help grow your fan base, you both totally deserve it, because I really love what you're doing. So we'll support you all we can.
Well, you've made fans out of us. I mean, we've been listening to the podcast now ever since we met you guys. So
thank you, man. That's really sweet of you.
It's really sweet, yeah. So
entertaining and educational.
And
that has never been said about me and Andy before. But thank you for giving up your time. Thank you for giving up your time this afternoon. Appreciate it. And we look forward to what you've got in the pipeline. We were really, really impressed when you supported Wolfgang. It sounded amazing. And we look forward to the album, singles, and the tour dates, Touchwood. And certainly keep in touch. We love what you're doing, and hopefully a lot of other people will too.
Yeah,
awesome. We love what you're doing, and it's great to be here. Thanks for having us.
You're welcome. And for everyone that's watching this, go see these guys live. You're in for a treat. So cheers, guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Take care.
Cheers, Steph. Cheers, comrade. Take care.
Thank you.
See ya. Bye.
So that's it for another episode of the Electronic Cafe. I hope you liked our first Rising Stars episode and really enjoyed meeting the beautiful machines, just like Mike and I did. I thought they were fantastic. So, Comrade Stephanie, thank you again so much for giving your time the other week. It was brilliant, great to meet you, and I can't wait to see you guys live sometime soon. So that's it from me and Mark for now. Take care, stay safe, and we'll see you on another episode of the Electronic Cafe very soon.
Thanks for watching the Electronic Cafe, and we'll see you again soon. Bye bye.